Hello, oh! I am the sanest man alive, and I'm with a communist dude of some sort.
I am a communist. I'm from Russia. Hello, comrade. Yeah, it's ComradeAlucard here with the sanest man alive.
Yeah, I'm actually slightly concerned, because I think I may have made you a better logo than I did for myself. So I'm slightly concerned.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when you use the blue and white of democracy with the porcupine.
Come on, man. Porcupines are manly, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, they got those spikes and, even though I don't believe in, that toxic masculinity you're talking about right there.
I don't either. I have a Fault in Our Stars poster next to me, so I can't really.
Jesus fuck, man.
And I have a Peach amiibo, so I don't claim to be a super manly man of any kind.
You castrated at birth?
Huh?
You have a Fault in Our Stars poster, dude.
Yeah, I do.
Fantastic. Well, to be fair, I watched the movie. I didn't read the book. I should probably get to reading it because I watched the movie and I was like, "Damn, this isn't that bad." All right, it's not a very happy ending. Like, it kind of reminded me of Clannad. The anime.
Oh yeah, Clannad. Yeah.
That was a sad anime, dude.
Actually,
kind of like Angel Beats.
A thing I liked about.
Continue.
A thing I liked about Fault in Our Stars actually is that if it would have had a super happy ending, it probably would have ruined it for me. Like, yeah. I kind of appreciate that, like, they managed to have a big sense of realism in there, and then they had the happiest, most positive thinking person there be the one that dies. I like that.
Yeah.
Sorry. Now I gotta add a spoiler warning at the beginning of this for people who haven't watched the movie or read the book.
Oh, come on, guys. It's pretty popular.
Oh, actually, I have the book with me right now. I'm next to my bookshelf.
To the left of me, I have a cartridge for the original Nintendo with Super Mario Brothers on it and Duck Hunt.
Ah, that's rad.
Yeah, I found it on the street walking to Walgreens one day. I shit you not. Mint condition too, dude. It's in its case and everything.
That's ridiculous.
I fucking know.
Do you know how much those games are worth when they have the box case on them? A lot.
This one itself is worth like $45 because it's not an original Mario Bros. Or Duck Hunt. It's both of them mixed. It's like a 2-game cartridge.
Ah, okay.
If it were just, regular Super Mario Brothers, I could probably get like $200 for it.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
I also have Battlefield 3 for PlayStation. Right to the left of me. Even though my PlayStation's in my dresser, actually.
I have 3 PlayStations and none of them work.
Oh, wow. Maybe you should take them all apart and,
Well, one works. It's just that the fan doesn't work, so I have to get a box fan and put it behind there, and then have it elevated so the fan goes into it, and then it will work.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it kind of works still, just not on its own accord.
Well, a nice thing that I'm thinking about doing with my PlayStation 3 is getting an Xbox 360 with it, taking them both apart, taking the DVD ROMs from both of them, putting them into one case, installing an operating system onto it that works with both of them, and make a PlayStation 3 Xbox 360 mix because, let's fuck up my $150 machine. Well, it wasn't $150.
I'm going to
get like $30
open the blinds up so I can get more lighting. Because when I first started setting this up, that's a little too much. When I first started setting this up, the sun was in a very different position.
So I been building my PC up a little bit. It's pretty cool. Doesn't run like a PC should. It actually runs like a Mac, and I don't get it. It's slow and stupid.
There we go. The lighting is now reasonable.
What's funny though is as an anarcho-communist, I'm basically the libertarian of the communist world.
Yeah, basically.
No gods, no masters, right?
Hey, it's Bonnie. Oh, I was saying hi. I was saying hi to Bonnie over there.
Is that your roommate?
Yeah.
Oh, how's he doing? I don't know him or his name, but I'm just gonna ask how he's doing out of the kindness of my heart.
I think he's getting water.
Better suck me off.
He's getting water and birth control.
Shit, man, that's what's up. Tell him to get his ass over here if he's got some birth control.
Are you... Wait, you're asking for...
I am the straightest person
somebody
you'll
just
ever know.
The dude I'm talking to just asked you to give him the birth control. I don't know why.
Oh, no. I was asking him to come over here with that birth control.
He's leaving the apartment now. He scared him off.
Jesus Christ, man. I'm kind of like a god of doing that kind of stuff. Anyways, so you had a little point of talking sheet. Like what?
Yeah, I did.
All right, what do you want to bring up first?
Well, mostly because it's a recent thing I've been hearing about a lot lately. How do you feel about the UN's proposal for reparations for slavery? Because that's a thing.
Actually, we, as white men and white privileged men, I can't stress that enough how privileged we are. We don't know what it's like to suffer because of what slaveries did to the African American community. I do believe that reparations should be in store, but I don't think it should be like hundreds of thousands of dollars. I think that there should be like a small monthly check to help them out because they are still suffering and in very poor neighborhoods and don't have the kind of jumpstart on life that we do. I think that this would help rebuild a couple of those bridges that we burned. What's your take on it?
My take, well, I agree with you on some things, but I'm pretty far on the other end of the spectrum where slavery, obviously slavery did screw them over, and that's why majority of the population in poor neighborhoods and majority of black people do live in poor neighborhoods is because of slavery back in the day. That's one of the major reasons behind it. But I don't think that the reparations is a good idea. One, for several reasons. One of the reasons being, I don't think any of the ways they could implement it would actually make sense. And I don't agree with it on the basis that the descendants of these racist slave owners should have to be punished for what they didn't do.
I don't believe that we, the people, should be taking money out of our paycheck for it. I believe that the taxpayers' money that is being used for everything else that we don't want it for, like war and fucking other Republican programs and such.
Okay, so you're basically saying you're just going to redistribute what taxes are used for and just take some that are going to some areas and move it over there.
Yeah, it's kind of like welfare or food stamps and such.
Well, welfare and food stamps don't really do that a whole lot because those are actually one of the biggest things that tax dollars go to. That and the military.
Well, yeah, but the military is fucking. Oh god, they will destroy their pieces of equipment just for more money.
That is a huge flaw in the tax system, which is why I think, even though we both clearly disagree with how we should reform the tax system, I think we both agree that it needs reform.
Well, I honestly believe in getting rid of money altogether. So, I mean, I think we do kind of agree that there shouldn't be any taxes at all. But while we have a capitalist nation, we should have some kind of tax.
Yeah, like I definitely think we need some sort of tax to function as society inherently.
Yeah, and right now our taxes aren't high enough on the 1%. So I'd
Uh,
like you to look at. I think a flat tax rate favors the rich, actually.
well, to be fair, a thing in taxes that a lot of people don't bring up is, let's say we have a 15% flat tax rate all across the board.
Oh God, that is low. Continue.
Let's Yeah, I'm just saying that hypothetically speaking.
Yeah,
Well, obviously that could change when we look at how much programs we don't cut, etc. But let's say
yeah.
15% flat tax rate all across the board. 15% of the income of someone making minimum wage is way less than 15% of trillions of dollars made every second.
Those
So,
people.
by going by percentage base, like we already do, the rich end up paying more.
Yeah, but they pay the same percentage. I mean, I
Well, the
understand where you're
same
coming from. They do
percentage,
pay
sure, but
more.
it's still more money. So that's a
It
way
is
to
more
have
money.
more money from the rich while also still be the same. So it's still so it's still equal in a sense.
I believe that equality comes in where the rich actually help the poor out more than what they should. I believe that they should pay up to 45% in income tax if they're making millions of dollars a minute. A average CEO is making $1 million an hour, and that needs to stop. Uh, it's we have a. I'm trying to think of some words here that work. Not very good with words. I don't have the best words like our Republican nominee.
I have
I
all the best words, even though I didn't say a word above 4 syllables in that interview.
It's not like I've been decided. It's not like they took a oh fuck, what is it called when they do this? Damn it!
When they do what?
They evaluate the candidate's speeches and give it a grade level based off of what their speech is.
Evaluate the speech?
I know they evaluate it, but I mean, what did they call it when they evaluate it and give it a grade level? Like, Bernie Sanders gave speeches at a 12th grade level, while Hillary Clinton was at a 11th and 10th grade level.
And then a Trump was about
Donald
4th
Trump
grade,
was at
wasn't it?
4th grade, yeah.
Yeah.
Ted Cruz was at like a 6th grade level and shit. I mean, it's kind of funny when all these, the people that they're like, they call socialists and such are, a bit smarter than the Republicans.
Well, okay, I don't think it comes as a surprise that Bernie Sanders is more intelligent than Trump.
No, I'm not surprised at all,
Yeah.
actually.
Like, even though I disagree with Bernie Sanders on a lot, like, obviously on economic issues I disagree with Bernie Sanders, I still think he's a very intelligent man. I still think he's a cool dude. Like, I'd love to hang out with Bernie Sanders. That'd still be cool, even if I disagree with him on economics.
I mean, Killer Mike hung out with him, which was pretty damn cool, man. Killer Mike, the rapper.
No.
I don't listen to him either, but I know that he's a famous rapper, and he hung out with Senator Sanders a lot because Senator Sanders has not a lot of white candidates can say that. I mean, doesn't it kind of bother you though that there's no African Americans being nominated into any of these parties? I mean, even with Jill Stein in the Green Party, she at least picked a African, vice president.
Uh,
I've
I,
never seen. I mean, I've never seen the Republicans ever vote for a black man.
well,
The
one,
Democrats,
I'm not particularly bothered by it. I think it would obviously be a fine thing if it did happen. I think it has a lot to do with just that majority of poor neighborhoods again is where black people and a lot of minority groups, except Asians, tend to be from.
and
So usually, if you're born
yeah,
in a place where your next door neighbors are all drug dealers or about to shoot you, your first thought isn't "I'm gonna be president." So I think it's just the places they're born in that has a lot to do with it.
we gotta we gotta fix those problems in neighborhoods like that. We need to clean that up a bit.
Yeah. Although, again,
And
to
we
bring it
don't
back
do
to the
that with
first
a war
topic, I
on
don't think
drugs.
reparations are a good way to go about it.
Uh-huh.
To bring it back to the first topic, I don't think reparations would be a good way to go about it.
But I do believe that it is, but I will kindly disagree there because
Yeah.
you at least brought up some decent points.
Yeah, partly, I do have respect for the fact that your idea is to take tax dollars that are spent on one thing and move it to another, instead of just saying, let's just tax the whiteys. I think that's definitely a more nuanced view than I've seen from other people on this.
I don't believe that we should base anything off of race in this country at all. I believe in solidarity where everyone's just one group.
I
don't
agree with
believe
that. Yeah,
we should
definitely.
separate blacks from whites at all, ever. I don't believe that we should give anyone any special treatment. But I do believe that we do need to take special steps to stop the the injustice happening to African Americans. That's where I'm going to end on the reparations. So I don't really have a whole lot more to say about that.
Yeah, like, part of my issue with a lot of things, and obviously in some cases, I'm fine with, the government stepping in or helping people out, like, of course I am. I'm not an extremist.
Yeah.
But the thing that I don't like is I want to keep government small to where it's not too overbearing or powerful, because even if, let's say, Bernie Sanders goes in and a lot of his ideas, which, regardless, let's not answer whether or not they work, let's just say he implements some of them, Congress obviously doesn't let some of them pass, and yada yada yada. We're in Fantasyland where Bernie didn't get screwed over and ended up winning.
Yeah.
The issue with that is that a good guy like Bernie, he makes, for his plans, inevitably government would be a lot bigger. Now that there's an even bigger government has more control over everything. And now, whoever gets into office next, let's say it's another Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton scenario, now you have one of those idiots having the reins on this super huge government, and now they have even more power. Now these idiots have even more power to screw things up in this country. And if it's a small government, then we wouldn't have to worry about the fact that 9 out of 10 presidents or candidates usually aren't having our best interests in mind. We'd be like, oh, well, they wouldn't be able to completely throw everything down the toilet, as opposed to it's a big government to where they can just wave a wand and make shit happen for the worst.
That's a fairly decent point. I can see where you come from there, but I also don't believe that. I believe that bigger government in the beginning will work to bring us towards a communist utopia. Just slowly dissipate everything else. Work your way with socialism into communism.
It is funny, a thing I did, it was a post of yours. When you were registering to vote, you registered under the Socialist Party.
Yes, I did.
And somebody commented that wasn't communism, which you replied with a quote saying, socialism always leads to communism.
The ultimate goal of socialism is communism.
Yeah, my bad.
Lenin.
Which I think is just a funny quote, because that quote is typically used as a way to speak against socialism every time I've heard it before then.
Yeah,
so I think so I chuckled at that as a funny way to use that on the other end of things.
Like, the Republicans say this to me, so I'm gonna say it to a Democrat. A hardcore Democrat, too. That was my grandfather.
Oh, dear.
Honestly, he's voting Hillary Clinton.
Gross.
I understand what he means. He wants to keep Donald Trump out of office. I get that. I want fascists out of office, too. But I think Hillary Clinton is just as bad as Trump, if not worse.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way on that regard.
I'm starting to believe that Trump actually is the lesser of the two evils this time.
Yeah, how I feel on it is Trump, he's an idiot with a lot of either crazy ideas or ideas that just sound crazy because of how he words them. If he goes up to Congress and the Senate or tries to pass something, most of the time they're not going to let it pass. They're not going to just hear his crazy ramblings and say, yeah, sure, you can pass this. Because they usually are stubborn with letting any president pass things. They're certainly not going to let someone who's babbling nonsense at them pass anything. Hillary
That's
Clinton,
very
on the other hand, is this conniving, underhanded person who will word things to get whatever she wants, and would be willing to scratch the back of anyone who helps her out. And I think there's a lot more to worry about with her passing things that are ultimately for the detriment of the country than there is with Trump. Because I don't
very
think
much.
Trump has the know-how to actually get things passed. I think she can pull strings and get things
Yeah,
done that
considering she
aren't
was
exactly good
Secretary of
things.
State and a senator.
Yeah.
And she was the first lady. She knows how to get things like that passed, and that's what bothers me, especially when she starts to favor the large corporations and the big banks that she's owed to.
Yeah, I think at least one big issue I have with Hillary, specifically, like, if you came out and you said, yeah, I'm a president, I support big business, and I'm here to help out businesses, that'd be one thing. But it's the fact that she's totally for all these banks, and that she's trying to pretend like she's against them and has been fighting them all along.
Yeah,
That's why it bothers me so much.
yeah. Well, I mean, if she were to say, "Hey, I support big corporations," I'd hate her just as much because I hate big corporations because I don't believe they can be trusted with anything. Just if I don't think Hillary Clinton understands how much the American people hate her because of her dealings with corporations and big banks.
Yeah, I don't think Hillary Clinton understands American people very much because she's been involved in politics her whole life, and I just don't think I think she's too far removed from everybody else to really empathize with them anymore. I think there's too much disconnect there at this point.
That's very true. How can a woman that gets $265,000 for a speech, understand what the struggle is for someone that makes 25,000 a year?
Yeah, there's definitely a. I just pulled the blinds to change the lighting, and it's making it worse by adding glare. Turn those over a wee bit.
I am in a dark bedroom right now with all my blinds shut, my door shut, and the only lights coming from my computer monitor. And the only sound in my room is coming from the squeaking of my chair and possibly my microphone getting hit by maybe my cord or something.
Ah, it is kind of humorous. Uh, my Skype insists that your picture is in the lower corner, and so all I've been seeing for you for most of this is just an ad. So that's currently your representation.
That is also my representation with you. You're in the lower left corner for me.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. It's going to be weird watching this back when you see me moving and fiddling with things in my apartment.
Okay, I just got rid of the ad. You can always, click the little X on it, but it doesn't really work all that well. As you can tell by my senseless clicking.
Yeah, I haven't used Skype very much, so I'm obviously.
Yeah, I get on Skype to talk to some of my friends every now and again, but honestly, I just don't really get on Skype much anymore. I used to Skype my friend Delaney all the time, and my friend Dennis. Dennis is a hardcore fucking conservative too. I don't see how I get along with them.
Now, see how I feel about and when I say conservative, obviously I'm talking about the mainstream sense of conservative, not yeah. I'm talking about the mainstream, average, generic brand conservative. How I feel about that is in my head I refer to them as fiscally smart but socially dumb. As in,
I refer to them as both fiscally dumb and socially dumb.
Well, I usually lean fiscally conservative. I feel it's the only way to stop the bottom from falling out and everybody being screwed or the bubble bursting. But I think one of the big reasons why conservatism tends not to exactly pull the best is because they're so stubborn and stuck in the past on social issues, and I think that's really what's stabbing them in the leg. because
I also hate.
they refuse to
I
even
hate.
move moderate. If what they should have been doing is be moderate or just less talkative on the social aspect of things, and try to turn this election into a debate on economics.
And
Then they'd be able to
stop.
pull a lot of American people there. But you have
Yes,
when you
I
have
agree
the stereotypical
with you.
conservative that's like, oh, I want my guns and I don't want no gays. That's what scares people.
Yeah, see, that's what I was about to say. Is for stuff like with homosexuals and shit and religion, they are completely one-sided there, will not listen to anyone else, won't listen to science, nothing. They don't give a with the stereotypical conservatives. Not, there are conservatives across
Yeah,
the world that are socially acceptable, but here in America,
yeah.
our
I
conservatives
have
are.
some below me right now.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I have Malala Yousafzai, which I think she's like my hero. I swear, she's like not too much older than me. I could totally marry her someday.
Malala is a great person, so
Uh,
they're definitely.
Malala, if you're watching this, thank you for watching. Subscribe and call me.
Oh yeah, like that Malala's just sitting there on the internet somewhere and sees this weird fluctuating Pac-Man thing, and then some doofus in a beanie sticking his tongue out at the camera. Like yeah, I'm gonna go to that video and
Oh,
watch
what if she
this.
does?
Uh,
Then I have a wife. I guarantee that that's not the case. Actually, congratulations again to her if she's watching on winning the Nobel Peace Prize.
yeah, someone who actually deserves a Nobel Peace Prize,
That
as opposed to some people.
she is a champion
Thanks,
of feminism.
Obama.
She yeah, gets the Nobel Peace Prize, bombs children in Syria.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah, that's one thing that we could at least shake hands across the table on, is that we both think that we need to stop sending bombs and troops to every country.
oh, and you know how the China and Russia are preparing for a war that could possibly happen between them and the United States. Yeah, guess who's gonna dodge that draft?
Yeah, because it
I
definitely, I
I'm not
definitely
dying
think
for a
that
country
all
that
these
died for me.
bombings and interventions have made things worse and not better, and that we should really just look at ourselves and say, okay, we tried that, we tried intervening in all these countries, not working very well. Let's stop wasting money that's not getting us anywhere and certainly not winning us many friends. And let's just spend that on fixing the roads in Monroe or something that's actually intelligent.
Absolutely take that money out of our military, make it a light defensive because that's all America needs as a first world nation, and put a lot of that money into rebuilding our infrastructure and education. And you could possibly, with the money we save from that, well, we definitely could have universal health care and free college, free public college,
That
K through
would,
16.
I definitely do not think that would be enough for free healthcare in college. Like, I definitely would disagree with that assessment, but I would definitely support cutting some money to the military. I think we need a strong national defense, but I definitely think we can cut back on the military and still be one of the strongest in the world. And I think we should cut back on sending all troops and drones to any other country and save money that way as well.
Oh, definitely. I mean, but I do like one thing I do think that the military is good at is lowering unemployment because they recruit the fuck out of people, especially
Yeah, they
poor
do.
people that really have. I mean, if your mom or dad, God forbid this ever happens, like died or in a car crash or killed themselves, the army's going to come after you as soon as possible. Because you're in a low state and you have nothing left to live for. They prey on the unemployed, but it gets the job done with unemployment. That's
Yeah, and I
best
think
I can
that's
say.
another reason why we don't necessarily need the draft anymore, because the military it's overstuffed with
It's
people that are
very.
employed there. They don't need anymore, especially with a country that's not even in an actual announced declared war.
I mean,
Because
didn't North Korea technically declare war on us?
North Korea wants to fight everybody. The United States hasn't officially declared war in, I believe it's been decades, because
It's
places like
really,
times like when we went into Afghanistan and stuff, those weren't officially declared. Those
yeah.
were those were all times where the U.S. BS'd its way around saying that we're not going to war. We're just sending troops overseas and having them shoot people. That's
You
not a
know,
war, right?
for freedom, because our freedoms are over in, the Middle East somehow. Killing women and children.
Which I think was an inherently dumb idea, sending a bunch of troops to a place they've never been to and have no idea how to traverse the terrain.
George W. Bush definitely fucked a lot of shit up there.
George W. Bush, and this is a problem I have with mainstream conservatism, because even though I tend to be a fiscally conservative, I said that earlier.
Yeah, I mean, you're a libertarian, I understand that.
I think a lot of people running for the Republican Party, and especially ones that actually get the nomination, claim to be fiscally conservative and then end up spending as much as a Democrat, if not more.
Yeah.
The Bush administration did that exact same thing. They managed to outspend Democrats while having conservative policies, which makes no sense.
Yeah.
The point of having fiscally conservative policies is to save money. When you end up spending more, those policies become asinine.
You're absolutely right.
When you have, and that just tells you entirely that the only reason he set them in the first place is to get voted on.
Oh yeah.
The purpose of fiscally conservative policies is to lower spending and to have us in less debt and to have it so the bottom doesn't fall out from under us. That doesn't work if you spend more.
Oh, so of course.
It's inherently broken.
That's why, I believe that it could possibly work, conservatism. I mean, it has technically held this nation together, but only barely, in my honest opinion.
Well, I wouldn't, also note, I wouldn't say conservatism is what's held America together. I think America is pretty flippant on things. We definitely have adopted a lot of socialist ideas in America, like Social Security and things like that. So we've definitely adopted ideas from our things. America's not a purely conservative, ideal-run country and hasn't been in our grandpa's lifetimes, even.
In fact, I believe they said something like 55% of independents and all Democrats identify with the left, but the Democratic Party is moderate. Just letting you know. You've seen what the political spectrum looks like? Like that.
Yes, I have.
Graph.
Yeah.
Are
you talking about the compass test line graph?
Yeah. Oh, I'm all the way in the very bottom left, dude. I am -100, -100.
We just got an extremist over here.
I'm a radical. It's not bad to be a radical as long as you're not killing people over it. I mean, I will kill racists though. I swear to God, if I walk up in the woods to a Ku Klux Klan meeting, well, guess who's pulling out their AK-47 and yelling for Russia?
Well, I will definitely say for the record, both I don't condone that and I don't condone the racists either. I'll say that for the record, in case someone's watching this and thinking of kicking my door down. So if a Ku Klux Klan member gets shot somewhere near here, I want to say for the record I had nothing to do with it. Protect my own assets over here.
If a Ku Klux Klan member gets shot around here, the NSA, I believe, is the one that records these conversations.
Yes, the National Security Agency.
NSA, go on ahead, do whatever you want. Interrogate me, torture me, I don't care. I'll be a martyr. I will be the face for the free world.
Oh dear. I don't think I don't think the free world is truly free if people don't have the right to have dumb ideas.
I believe that's true too. Yeah, that is.
I think one of our most important rights is the right to be incredibly stupid if we so choose to.
I believe
if I want to drive a car without a seatbelt or ride a bike without a helmet or dive face first off a mountain, even though all those things aren't exactly smart, I want to be allowed to do them.
Exactly. That's where anarcho-communism comes into place. No state, no masters, no God.
You really enjoy that tagline. Are you going to put that on your YouTube?
No gods, no masters.
I've heard you say that 60 times already in this video.
I know. I believe in it wholeheartedly, actually. there's no gods, I don't see why anyone should control people. I mean,
I
even
will
if there were
definitely
gods,
say for the record, I am an atheist, so I agree with you in that sense. Which,
yeah.
a little awkward because a lot of people who tend to agree with me on politics are very not that, which is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I am a raging homosexual.
Yeah. Which makes it even funnier.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's great that you're a libertarian and not a Republican and gay.
Yeah, I would definitely never in my life call myself a Republican because I would actually cringe.
Yeah.
Okay, I would cringe at this point if I was referred to as Republican or Democrat. I would probably cringe. So.
Oh yeah, I hate when people are like, "Oh, so you hate Trump? Oh, you like Hillary?" No, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a liberal, actually. Then what are you if you're not conservative? I am a communist. And that just riles people's panties up, dude.
It really does. It really does.
And I was talking to the cashier, and you can continue. I'll tell you the story in a moment.
It definitely does rile people's jimmies. Actually, having views that are either libertarian. I usually refer to myself as like a libertarian light or moderate libertarian because there's a lot of them out there that are like radical purists to where if you're not literally Ron Paul, then you're not a real libertarian. There's a lot of people that are like that, and I obviously disagree with those people, but that's where my views lean, so I usually like add moderate or light in there.
Yeah.
Or I'll just go the long round to say fiscally conservative and liberal on social issues.
Yeah, you're technically in the middle, but down. That's what libertarians are. What the thing is I'm down, but I'm very left. I am extremely left. In fact, I am an extremist by some cases.
Well, I don't think it's some cases. I think it's all cases. I think communism might as well have extreme written next to it.
Extreme communism. Try it out, kids. You'll love it.
Oh dear.
Do you like my outros for my videos? It's the Techno USSR anthem.
I don't remember seeing your outro in your first video, and I only watched like the first 2/3 of your newest video, so I didn't see it. I'll have to go back and see it after
that's
this.
fine. I mean, my newest video is 10 minutes long of me just rambling about fucking election fraud.
Poor Bernie, rest in peace.
Yeah, he did not deserve that. He really cared about America.
And then, of course, now he's tugging the Hillary line, which is cringy as can be.
I think he's being forced to be fair.
Yeah,
I feel like the Clintons threatened him with his life.
Well, no, what happened is that when he is running for the Democratic nominee, everybody running for the Republican or Democratic nomination had to sign an agreement that said, if I lose, I will support the nominee. Bernie signed that so
sucks.
He's legally bound to. Though it is worth noting there were at least people in the Republican field, because they had like 60 candidates. There were definitely some of those that, even though they signed that, went back on their word and said...
Ted Cruz.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. Ted Cruz,
he
actually
went back on his word again.
Because now he's doing phone calls for Trump, so... Which, by the way...
I really feel bad for the guy.
I do, too. That's one of the most...
Don't,
the image of...
I kind of do.
The image of Ted Cruz sitting there, like, on the verge of tears, making phone calls for the person who insulted his wife and family is one of the saddest things I've seen in months.
I mean, I personally don't think that Ted Cruz is a human being, but I mean... Oh, never mind. His father isn't the human being. My bad. I grew up in a communist nation. No, you didn't. You grew up in Cuba, which is a fucking dictatorship, you dipshit. That's where Republicans are trying to head this place to.
Well, I wouldn't... I think if you're just doing in vague terms, then you can say both the Republican and Democratic Party are heading toward authoritarianism.
Oh, totally. Yeah, the Democrats and Republicans on the political spectrum are literally right next to each other. They're not even negative one or positive one apart.
Yeah, very close. They talk a big game when it starts, but then when they actually go about doing policies, they're actually not that far apart in what they're
very, very similar.
The only difference is who's whining about what. That's the real difference with
the
people who actually get elected.
President oh, the Republicans are ruining everything. Time for the Democrats to take the House and Senate again.
And then it doesn't work,
Oh,
and
the
then they're like,
Democrats are
oh, what
ruining
happened?
everything. Republicans need to take the House, and I believe it's controlled opposition.
It is really absurd. That definitely happened with the recent video that came out. That you did your first video on it. Basically, just Trump being a kind of creepy pervert about stuff, basically. And then people kept freaking out about it, and really that shows you how absolute like BS the complaints of both sides are when the people complaining about Trump didn't care when Bill Clinton was in office, and then the people complaining about Bill Clinton don't care too much when Trump says something similar. So
I want to make this clear right here and now. I always hated Bill Clinton, okay? I've always hated Donald Trump, even before he started running for election. I always thought he was a fucking pompous asshole. I have, however...
Come on, didn't you see him at WrestleMania?
Your WrestleMania?
No, didn't you see... Come on, man. Didn't you see Donald Trump at WrestleMania?
Oh, yeah, I did. And I was rooting for the other dude.
Oh, dear.
I bet a lot of Donald Trump supporters think that was a real fight.
No, no, I can't. I can't imagine. No, majority of pro wrestling fans are in on it. So I don't think anybody has. Maybe three. I'll put my bets in right now. There's about 3 people that actually believe that.
I'm gonna go on ahead with 100,000.
Note when I say that, I'm saying that both think pro wrestling is real and to support Donald Trump for president. I'm gonna say 3.
Okay. Alright, well, I don't know. I'd have to agree, it's a pretty low number. I'd say probably like 400 to 500 in actuality, because there's 300 million people in America. Gotta take that.
I just heard a weird noise. Something about this apartment, there's a lot of noises from everywhere and people arguing. Thankfully, it's not picking up in the video, so that's good.
I don't hear anything from it, so that's great.
Yeah.
Hear that, viewers? You guys don't have to hear his bullshit going on in the back room like his roommate's having sex or something.
Actually, usually it's just crying. A lot of crying.
That is depressing.
There's somebody, like, right below us that is just having, like, the worst month of their lives. Because I hear crying, like, every day.
Go down there and comfort them.
Oh yeah, just walk down and kick open their door as a stranger and say hello and why are you crying?
Are you alright, ma'am?
I think that will come across as creepy or rude. Because if my first word is, I heard you crying from my room, they're going to assume I'm there to complain.
And say, are you alright?
No, I don't know who they are. I don't think that's a good idea.
Is it a guy and a girl that lives down there?
I'm honestly not sure. The sound could be coming from anywhere. I'm not quite sure.
Because, I mean, it could just possibly be relationship issues.
There is also a couple that argues a lot here, but I'm not sure if they're the same one.
Well, that couple that argues a lot, tell the girl to hit me up on Snapchat and Instagram.
I don't think I will. I don't think I plan on talking to them. I think I'm just gonna stay in my room and make YouTube videos with bad lighting. I think that's what I'm gonna do.
Oh, that is fantastic. Oh, what do you use to broadcast to YouTube, and what do you use to record?
Trying to remember the name. It's right over here. XSplit Broadcaster.
Okay, yeah, I see. Did you pay for it?
No, I did not. You can pay for it and get other, you know, cool things with it, but you don't have to.
I remember XSplit pretty vividly, actually. My old YouTube channel, it was called The Legend for a while, The Legend of Gaming 56, which was hilarious. But then it eventually settled in at Alucard Does Shit for a while. I had up to 100 subscribers, something like that. You know, it was a smaller channel, but I got, you know, some views here and there, like 400 views on it. a couple videos here and there. No, it was decent. I had fun doing it. I was partnered with Freedom. Well, Freedom, they asked me to do a video featuring XSplit, and I did. I was like, XSplit's pretty damn good. This is really good. I like it. I didn't really, but I honestly, it wasn't the best. But I got XSplit free for a year, which was pretty cool. Because I made a video that only got like 50 views.
Yeah, see, like, already that old channel is higher above where I am at right now after running this channel for 2 years.
I spent a lot of time advertising it. I mean, I didn't spend 2 years on the channel, but I spent a long time going onto forums and stuff, hours and hours a day, just spreading my channel around. And it still didn't get to me to where I wanted to be. And I realized custom thumbnails.
Yeah, those help out a lot.
Clickbait.
But trying to get back to actual political talk.
Yeah.
I believe I've seen you post about before. I believe your support. Yeah, I've seen you post about an editor hero logo into your profile picture. You're supporting Jill Stein for 2016.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: is I'm stuck right now between her and Mimi Solisk of the Socialist Party. They're both very similar. I like them both, but Jill kind of dabbles a little bit in pseudoscience here and there. I don't understand her reasoning for not, supporting nuclear energy because, I mean, nuclear energy is very clean. The cleanest form of energy out there actually causes the least amount of pollution. Unless, we have a meltdown.
There is downsides to nuclear energy.
There are downsides, of course.
When something does go wrong, it's really bad, and then there's the issue of where do we put the waste from it, because we can't really do much with it.
Put it in Donald Trump's backyard.
Yeah, the issue
solved. Mutate Ivanka. Now he wouldn't date his daughter. Fucking sicko.
Yeah, obviously, I'm sure you see from my post, I'm supporting Gary Johnson for 2016, which...
Yeah.
I've definitely had a lot of people complain that he's not a real libertarian, but...
Well, what is Aleppo, though? That wasn't one of his best moments either.
Well, I'll still defend him on that because, how often, going anywhere or any discussion in politics have you, before Johnson didn't know what it was, have you heard Aleppo mentioned?
Not really. I knew what it was because, of course, I'm very into politics. But I mean, he's running for president of the United States. I think it would have.
I definitely think it probably would have been good. It would have been better if you knew it for sure. But also,
defending him.
I think another thing is part of it is the fact that he's a huge non-interventionist. So I think it's inherently less important.
Yeah.
It's always good to be up to date on other country things, but I think it's inherently less important to know the name of a city in Syria if you have no plans of doing anything in Syria.
Yeah.
Than it is anyone else.
I don't know. I'm not going to go there and bomb them like Obama's doing. So
yeah, the thing with Johnson is it doesn't matter a whole lot if he knows what Aleppo is or where it is, because if you look at his policy, he's never going to think of or do anything with Syria ever. So
I can't get behind the Johnson train. My main issue, of course, he's fiscally conservative, and I don't agree with that. So I can't really I can't really back him there. Plus, he was a Republican at one point. I can't forgive him for that. No offense.
Well,
I understand
he had the same policies he has now. It's a very common thing for people who are socialists or libertarian or some other party to run as one of the two major parties. That happened with
like Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, with Bernie Sanders. That happened with Ron Paul. That happened with Rand Paul. It's a very common thing because people are smart enough to know that they won't win as third party typically unless something major happens.
Oh, if you want to play a quick drinking game, just get your alcohol.
I am 18, so that
yeah, I know you can't drink, but I'm just saying this for the reference for anyone that watches. Watch Fox News and put CNN beside it. And every time you hear Fox News say something about Ronald Reagan, take a drink. If you hear CNN say anything about Donald Trump, take a drink.
I highly suggest not doing. I highly suggest if anyone does that, neither Deeble Entertainment or ComradeAlucard are responsible for any outcomes of that. We'll say that right
Oh,
now.
of course not. Of course not. If you guys do that, you're stupid. You will die. Warning, you will. There's no if, you will. The Republicans basically worship Ronald Reagan. Oh
It
my
is
God.
funny, like, one of the more liberal-leaning Republicans who actually won office is the one that's brought up in such high regard all the time.
Let's put money into the hands of the rich and watch it trickle down, because they're not greedy at all.
Well, it is worth noting that things like trickle-down economics and bottom-up economics, they do have the ability to work, and they also historically have times where they don't work. When Bush tried trickle-down economics, it was an utter failure. When Obama tried bottom-up economics, it didn't work well either. With Reagan, it worked like a little bit, but not much. So
I think Obama's worked a little bit better than Reagan's, to be fair, though. I mean, America is out of debt. Well, not really.
Wait,
but...
you just said America's out of debt?
I didn't mean that, did I? Jesus, we're out of debt by $3 trillion, something like that.
And you thought Gary Johnson not knowing what Aleppo was a bad thing.
For a moment,
if you were running for president right now, your campaign would have just officially ended now.
Dead. It would be dead. But I'm not running for president because I'm going to tear down America someday and rebuild it.
Because that would immediately be replayed on every news station 100 times.
America's out of debt. I mean, come on, guys. If Donald Trump can say that America's $45 trillion in debt, I think I can say that we're a little bit out of debt, because Obama did take us $3 trillion out of the hole.
We're not really much better in terms of the debt situation than we were before. No. We're still adding more to debt.
We're economically better.
The unemployment level's gotten better, but the debt ceiling's been raised more, and the debt has gone up. So if you're looking at like what the debt clock says and what statistics say, the debt ceiling's been raised 100 times, and we're no closer to getting out of debt than we were before.
Oh, we're never getting out of debt. Never. Thanks, Bush.
Well, you can't blame, even though I definitely think Bush was a terrible president and not exactly a good person. I definitely don't think you could blame all of it on Bush. He alone didn't attribute this giant debt.
I mean, why can't I? If I want to blame someone for all my issues, George Bush, thank you for my depression. It really means a lot, dude.
Just start blaming George W. Bush specifically for mental illness. He invented it. He caused it.
The hashtag blame Bush.
Get it trending.
See, if this weren't being pre-recorded, we'd have the chat blowing up with hashtag hashtag shit. What was the hashtag?
It was hashtag blame Bush. It's a 2-word phrase. How did you forget it? You're not qualified to be president. You have a short-term memory. You're banished.
Of course I don't want to be president. Fuck that shit. I do want to go into politics, though. I want to be a senator or something, because I do feel like I can make more of a difference as a senator than I can president.
Well, local governments do tend to be able to actually help out more for the people around them, so.
In the next 4 years, when the new election comes around again, 2020, I'll be running for mayor of Clearwater, Florida. It'd be cool.
Yeah, hopefully you can raise the ridiculous funds that are typically required to get anywhere.
Oh no, I can totally do that. It's called going up to Donald Trump and telling him, hey, I'm a huge fan. Can I have a small loan of $1 million?
Nope, you're doing one of those things that people complain about Hillary doing. That sounds a lot like things that Hillary has done with Wall Street, saying, True. I went up to Wall Street and got money from them, but it doesn't mean I'm going to do what they tell me. You're falling in the Hillary camp. You sold out.
I've already sold out, and I haven't.
You sold out, and you haven't even gotten anywhere yet. You sold out for nothing.
I will contact Anonymous and ask them to hack Donald Trump's bank account. There we go.
Careful. Let's hope you don't accidentally transfer debt over.
Oh my god. No, hey, the government won't do anything about it. They don't
By the way, the math has been done on how many of Donald Trump's businesses have failed and how many have succeeded. The percent is, out of all businesses that Donald Trump has ever made, 47% have succeeded.
That means 53% of them failed.
Hey, it's a coin flip. It's not that bad.
No, it's not. That's more than a coin flip.
It's a coin with a little bit of a diagonal edge on it.
That means he did lose as a businessman.
That's literally like that's just the equivalent of just guessing. That just shows he doesn't have any business know-how, and he just kind of does stuff and has enough money to cover himself when it fails. And
look, if I ran a business, I would pay all my workers $15 an hour despite the minimum wage, because that would be a cool choice,
Well, like,
I mean,
that's how I think it should be. I don't think the government should police morality. Typically, I say typically. Obviously, if you're hurting somebody, then yeah, you should police that.
Yeah, like cops killing innocent black men.
Like, yeah, definitely. If you end up killing someone who's innocent, yeah, you should be in trouble for that, obviously.
Should go to prison.
Though I am a bit iffy on the Black Lives Matter situation.
Oh, that's too bad.
Like, I definitely would never be one of those people that spouts off all lives matter, because that's cringy as all hell, and I don't...
Considering it's not like Black Lives Matter is only about Black Lives Mattering. It's about, that Black Lives Matter because all lives matter. That just sounded really bad, but
yeah, it did.
That is technically true.
But basically, the reason I'm against the all lives matter catchphrase too, even though I'm iffy on Black Lives Matter, is because Black Lives Matter, the phrase came about because they felt like they were being treated as if their lives didn't, so by saying all lives matter, you just come across as a contrarian dick. So.
Yeah, as though, I don't agree with you. But the same people that are doing the all lives matter thing, but were mad about Black Lives Matter, are the same people that are putting out Blue Lives Matter. Like,
yeah.
You didn't
so
like
they're doing the same equivalent.
All lives matter and Blue Lives Matter, then black was the operative word.
Yeah, but
very much.
My issues with the Black Lives Matter movement, it's not the ideas in the movement, it's not what causes the movement, it's what the movement's become and what a lot of people in it do. And because it's such a loosely organized movement, they can't really, like, control members at all, so anyone can just walk up and say their Black Lives Matter, and a lot of those people end up doing stupid things, so I can't really support that movement.
I support Black Lives Matter, and I own up. I'm part of. I've been to a Black Lives Matter march. I'm going to one again in December, actually. But I as a member of the Black Lives Matter movement, I will own up to the people that are doing stupid stuff. Those are people with our ideals. There's justification for what they do, but as a whole, our group does not stand up for killing officers. And
two things on that. One, I wouldn't necessarily say a lot of those some of these actions are justified, and two, I'll at least give you more credit for doing something that most Democrats on the news can't seem to do. So you're already higher up in my book.
I'm not a Democrat, so I will stand up for Black Lives Matter.
Well, I couldn't say communist because what communist is on the news?
Bernie Sanders?
please, Democratic Socialist.
Oh yeah, sorry, that's social democracy. My bad.
Democratic Socialist, please.
It's in the middle of communism and democracy. Well, I mean, communism is democracy in its purest form, to be fair. Because everyone decides what happens.
Well, in communist systems, I can't say that's an issue with communist systems is that it's not entirely democratic because people do have less options and things. So, like,
well, yeah,
it's not like in our system, like, what businesses pass or fail is largely dependent on the people who buy things. So, in a loose sense, a lot of people have a lot of choice and influence on who succeeds and fails in the business world. In a communist system, they have no say in that, because in a communist system, majority of businesses are somehow mandated or regulated and controlled by the government, so they have no sense of control in that matter.
The people that do control those businesses are the people that work in those businesses. That's how communism would work. If you work in the factory, you own the factory. That's
I actually think naturally that a less biased way of doing that is with the actual customers, because if you're working there, like, which I think you should own your own labor in the casework, because, you get paid for your labor, so you have ownership of your labor, otherwise you don't get paid for it,
yeah.
But I definitely think that the people who work there naturally have a bigger stake in there, so no matter what, they're going to want the company to succeed. They're not going to be good judges. They're not going to be inherently the best judges of the company as compared to the customers going there, unless you're speaking strictly of management. In which case,
the customers is it's going to be everything would be commercialized. It's not like we'll have monetary value to anything. We're not going to have money. No one's making money. People are working because they're working for like, you're not working for yourself at this point. You're working for your neighbor. Your neighbor is working for you, so forth, so forth. It's not like we have a monetary system like capitalism where we work for ourselves, get money, pay for everything, get more money, and in capitalism. I understand that you're fiscally conservative, so you do believe in capitalism, right?
I definitely do enjoy capitalism. I think it, even though it is definitely a flawed system, I think it definitely plays, I think it's consistent. I think it plays off of consistency that is inherent in human nature, and because of that, I think it is more sustainable than systems that rely on human control and other situations. I don't want to word it that way, because that sounds like I'm trying to pull out some Red Scare mumbo-jumbo. And I definitely don't want to do that, but I think that capitalism is more consistent in the sense it relies off of inherent human nature, and that things like communism are less consistent and have a huge issue with the bubble bursting eventually, because there's a lot more factors as opposed to something humans are going to do no matter what.
Yeah, well, with human nature, sociology dictates that a person changes depending on what situation they're put in. So if you put someone in a socialist or communist nation where they're working for their people and everyone, enjoys each other. I mean, of course, no one's gonna, not everyone's gonna get along. That's, that's a given. That's not even human nature. That's just nature. Animals sometimes don't get along with other animals, but that's off topic. My bad. I'm straying from that. I like to ramble and rant. But with human nature, it can be changed. It's changed before, and it continues to change. That's what evolution is. Human nature changes. Physical appearance changes. But
a thing I will stop you before you get to another point, and I forget that I do disagree with. While humans do definitely change over time, I will point out that what won't change is the facet of human nature I'm talking about. People typically want to survive. They want to own things, and they want more of things.
That's
why it wasn't for those factors, then evolution wouldn't exist. If people didn't strive to want food and to survive and to pass things on, there wouldn't be evolution.
Yeah, that's a given. I'm not
saying those
that's
things are what capitalism is based around. Oh, you want food?
That at all.
I think capitalism works in the sense that it's based around working for money to get more stuff.
There's also a lot of people that can't work and are dying, starving on the streets. With communism, that wouldn't be a factor.
I definitely do think that, obviously people starving on the streets is a bad thing. I think that in America, because we have some socialist ideals in our system where we do have things like food stamps and things like that, which I do support food stamps, even though it's not a very libertarian idea. I do support food stamps because I do think it is necessary to throw bones to people who need it. If it wasn't for food stamps, I certainly wouldn't be here talking to you, so I definitely think that is necessary.
Yeah.
But I also don't think a system that keeps everything neatly tied up in this utopian netted ball is able to sustain itself without falling apart. And that's obviously something you disagree on.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna disagree here on stuff like that, because, I mean, you're a libertarian.
Yeah, and I also don't think it's possible to have a reasonable amount of debt and run a communist utopia, or even the government we have now. And I think that we definitely need to do what we can to have a reasonable debt. I don't think we'll be able to have a balanced budget or a surplus by any means, but I think we need to get it to a point where we're not looking, because if we don't solve it, we'll get to the point where we'll only ever be able to pay off interest, and I don't want to get to that point.
Yeah.
I want the debt to be something that's realistic, and we're so far from realistic that it's at cartoon standards. And we can't get there if we're in a communist type system, or even a democratic socialist type system.
See, the thing is with communism, I'm not just focusing on America becoming communist. Focusing on the world becoming communist, because that's the way it would have to work. The world would have to change.
Unintentionally, you remind me a lot of the conservatives that were rampant during the Red Scare movement. Let me explain. I don't mean that as an insult by any stretch of the imagination. A lot of the way you word things and say things sound a lot like the types of justifications and things Republicans during the Red Scare movement said, except instead of being about democracy and things like that, it's about communism. Republicans during that time wanted to spread democracy all around the world. They wanted that to be a big old thing. They freaked out saying that slippery slope every 2 seconds. Oh, this country's not fully democratic, they're gonna slip into this. You're sort of like that with communism, in the sense where you're like, oh yeah, socialism's good because we'll slip into this. I want every place to have my ideology if I can. So you have a lot of similar things, just on the other spectrum.
In that case of communism, I can't say that I only want my ideology of communism, because I want to try out other forms of communism too. I would like to set up a few separate areas that run on different forms of
I don't want every food in the world to be a sub-sandwich. I just want them all to be a type of sandwich.
Yes, there we go. Like, no, what I want to do ultimately is when we do finally achieve some kind of, communist nation or communist world, I'd like to see which communism works the best, because honestly, anarcho-communism is the most idealistic of all the communist nations. There are tankies that believe in authoritarian communism, which authoritarian communism can totally work. There's not even a debate there. You just fucking throw in a police state with communism, and boom, everyone.
A thing I would actually like you to explain, mostly because I would enjoy hearing an actual explanation from a person rather than reading it from someone. Because I understand how authoritarian communism works, which is what most people think of communism as. Because that makes sense, because, oh, well, it's super regulation and wealth distribution, and it makes sense because the government has their hand in literally every facet of everything. How would a anarcho-communism function without having the government to make sure it's, well, communism?
Because the government doesn't exist in anarcho-communism. The state, well, we have a form. It's a very loose, I guess you could loosely call it a government. The people would control all of that. The people would regulate it and continue. And would continue to, shit, I just dropped my headphones that I was flinging around. But, and they would just continue to fucking, they'd continue to make decisions all together. It would be the purest form of democracy, like I said. That's how decision-making would work. Another way you could look at it is, let's say you're living in a small community. Like a nudist colony. I'll just throw that out there. They work together to get shit done and such. Tribal. No, actually, I won't use the nudist colony as a example. I'll use a tribe in Africa as an example. They work together, they hunt together. The people that can't, they make decisions all together. Everyone makes decisions. Everyone has a say in what happens. They hunt. If someone can't hunt and get their own food, they give them food. If someone has a skill that someone else doesn't, they use that skill. That's kind of how it would work if you're
Now,
very good at
a
this
question
and
I
that.
have, because what happens if one third becomes the super KKK and is trying to exterminate everybody who's against their beliefs, and then another third becomes super capitalistic and becomes incredibly bigoted and full of hatred to anyone who disagrees with them? How would that system be able to function without falling apart then?
See, that would be a big problem. You are absolutely right. That system would have a hard time working. That's why I said I want to try out other forms of communism with it. I personally agree with anarcho-communism because it's the freest form of government. Well, loosely saying government there. It's the freest form of communism and the freest form of any type of government. I would like to try out Marxist-Leninism. I'd like to try out Stalinism. I'd like to try out Trotskyism and Maoism. I'd like to try that all out, see how it works.
Now, seeing that you talked about your preferred idea of government, or lack thereof, suppose I'll give my 2 cents. I definitely think there should be a stable government because, personally, I believe that a system more on the lines of no main center government would probably fall apart within a week. At least that's how I view it.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely think there should, but I definitely think it should be small. It should not interfere in people's lives much. I think people should have freedom to do whatever they want as long as they are not hurting other people or preventing other people from doing what they want. And I think in terms of regulations, we should only have what regulations seem necessary. And that's a wibbly-wobbly line. It's hard to pinpoint on where the fine line is, so that obviously would change over time and be a case-by-case basis. But that's how I view it. Like, in terms of things like the environment, I think, because my belief system is you should be able to do whatever you want as long as you don't hurt other people. This is a less libertarian view of mine. I think things that are ultimately destroying the environment, like dumping poison in the river or a garden, I think those are hurting other people, so I think that would be included. So I think only like regulations like that are basically necessary to really function should be going on.
Yeah, you're right.
And I think
very, very right.
a thing I also disagree on, because I used a sandwich as an example because I like sandwiches. Wanted there to be different views in a lot of places, but you all wanted them to be under the umbrella of communism, to where they're all at least like from the same tree at least.
Mm-hmm.
And how I actually dislike that idea. Like, even if I had the option to press a button and every country in the world would be some facet similar to how I would like it, I wouldn't press it. Because I think, one, that has a habit of creating echo chambers, and eventually you begin to lose sight of the flaws inherent in your system. I think that's part of the reason why a lot of Americans end up pretty unable to see the flaws in our system, because we tend to be naturally so isolated from other ideas. I think that it just works better to have a big melting pot of several different ideas and drastically different ideologies. That's why I enjoy that America is made up of a bunch of states, because we can try different things, like minimum wage. We can try having a higher minimum wage in California and a lower one in Michigan, and we can see how the economy does in both. We can see, okay, let's say it's doing worse in this one, what is causing it, how big of an impact did the minimum wage have, and we can do all these things without causing a giant negative impact on the country, because it's only one specific section of it. And I think that's a reason why I'm really big on states' rights as well, because it gives us this open ground to experiment without with less detriment to the country as a whole. Because anything that's countrywide takes years to implement and years to get rid of. If you just do it in a state, you can just like say, okay, weed's legal in Colorado now. Let's see, is Colorado just gonna blow up, or they're actually gonna do well? And time passes, we look at Colorado, we're like, hey, they're doing pretty well. Let's try this in other states. It does well in other states. They make lots of money. We all like money because we're capitalists. So we're like, oh, maybe legalizing pot's a good idea. And I think that's a huge benefit of states' rights and different ideologies working together.
I like that. That's very open-minded, actually. Much more than my idea of communism. Actually, I believe that everyone should be communist. I mean, of course, you can have different ideas, just as long as you don't tell me about them.
See, and yet you not only offered but came on to a show with someone who openly disagrees with you on so many things. You're literally on a show, and you can't see this right now because you only see me on Skype.
Yeah.
But of course, below you, I picked some of the people that you support and have them below your picture.
Yeah.
But on the same screen as you right now is not only me, but Rand Paul, Milton Friedman, and Hayek. And you agreed to be on a video with them on the screen, so...
Yeah, I was making a joke, though. Everyone express your opinions, honestly. If you really... Look, that's why I like communism. If you really don't like how the system's working, change it. If that's how you really feel, try your best to change it. Change people's minds to do it. Nothing's going to be perfect, of course. Just like in capitalism, communism can't work perfectly without some flaws.
Okay, Mr. Utopia. It's a utopia that doesn't work perfectly.
I don't call it a utopia.
You called it a utopia a lot.
I have, but that's a very strong word, to be fair. Nothing works perfectly. Nothing is perfect. You always have kinks in something. I do think that the closest thing to perfect would be a utopia.
Utopia, by definition, is absolute. I think you're just using a weird. I think you're just using utopia in a weird sense, because utopia, by definition, means it's absolutely perfect and flawless.
Yeah. It is. There are flaws in communism, but I think that's where anarchy solves some of those flaws.
I actually think one of the major flaws of it is anarchy, because I think anarchy is one of the least sustainable systems possible because of just human nature and humans disagreeing with each other. Like you dislike big business, and you would obviously like it more regulated, I'd assume.
Yeah.
Because, okay, let's say, this human, he has money, a lot of them might not necessarily do in our best interests or for society's interests. But in anarchy, the difference is that all those people have the same... They're still human. They can still do the same things guys in big business do, except on a big scale. And in anarchy, it just doesn't seem to connect with me how...
And that's where I think the communism works with it.
But when you described them together, how you worded communism, it sounded... How you put it is basically like an agreement of like-minded individuals.
You don't have to be like-minded to agree on different things. You and I can agree that on social issues, we're very, very, very similar. LGBTQ rights, such and such. I like to make jokes about everyone should be communist, but no, don't really quote me on that, dude.
I'm mostly screwing with you for the sake of screwing with you. To be honest.
I do like to take in capitalist opinions, though, because capitalists are very interesting, especially ANCAPs. Have you heard of what ANCAPs are?
Yeah, believe me, I've heard of anarcho-capitalism, and I'm still not positive how it works. I've heard people... every time they talk to me about it, I'm just sitting there like, but how? Because really, I don't... For the life of me, I can't see how anarchy in any form of government can truly function for longer than a week, because there's going to be some people are like, and this is coming from somebody who believes that we should leave people alone as much as possible. So like, I I think we should definitely give people a lot of leeway, so like they can do stupid things, they can maybe be a jerk to people, but but then when you go from like libertarian to anarchy, where it's like, yeah, but now not only are people allowed to do mostly what they want, now they're saying what they can do. I think that because of how different people are, I think those systems are just unsustainable. And at least in communism is the super huggy, okay, everyone gets the juice box. So with anarcho-capitalism, it's like, okay, we're all deciding what we do, and we're all giving each other juice boxes. And anarcho-capitalism, it's like, okay, I care about money, and I care about buying stuff with money, and I want to work for it. But I'm also going to do whatever I want.
Yeah.
I think that's even worse.
Let me explain a couple things to ANCAP about ANCAPs. What they actually they'll say. I believe that everything is socialist, but socialism's never worked. Everything great was made by capitalism, but capitalism never existed. It was corporatism. Those are ANCAPs for you. The little yellow and black guys with the sunglasses. Those are ANCAPs.
Wait,
oh,
what?
Shit! I just.
Could you please repeat that description of what they look like?
That was really bad. I don't mean like people that are yellow and black.
Okay, I definitely misinterpreted that.
Of like this little the smiley faces that's like half black, half yellow. That's an ANCAP, and it says something sarcastic. I'm making fun of.
Oh, you're talking about people like Anarchy Ball now. Okay.
Yeah. The black always stands for anarchy.
Okay. I to be perfectly honest, I actually just thought that was Anarchy Ball thing. He's just a YouTuber, and I just thought it was his thing, and people were getting it from him. If I'm being honest.
No, there's a lot of them.
I think it's just because most people are smart enough to not agree with Anarchy Ball. I think that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
I think that's why I don't know as much about it, because most people aren't that stupid.
There's a lot of memes, including them, that have like that have the ball and has what kind of color it represents that government.
I assumed all those memes were about Anarchy Ball.
No.
I basically attributed all of anarcho-capitalism to a YouTuber, so that shows the amount of personal interaction I've had with it.
Well, that's fine. You don't need to talk to these people. They just leave them alone and let them sit there and eat their grass and trademark every word in the alphabet. Well, in every letter in the alphabet. My bad.
Well, to be fair, Donald Trump did try to trademark "Make America Great Again," even though it was used by several different presidential candidates throughout the years.
He also tried to copyright "You're Fired."
Yeah, that too. He probably tried to copyright his own hairstyle.
Probably. But I mean, that would mean he could sue my dogs. That's the joke. I have a Rottweiler, so he doesn't have Trump hair.
Just get him a wig.
Okay, we'll get him a wig. Now, hold on, let me open my door and call him in. Hey, Brian, come here. You want a Donald Trump wig? No? Okay. He doesn't want a Donald Trump wig. He speaks to me telepathically.
Now, let's take a trip to Fantasyland for a second and imagine what it would be like in the mystical universe where everything doesn't suck. Where instead of Trump versus Clinton and some cool third-party candidates that won't win, if we had Rand Paul as the Republican nominee and Bernie Sanders as the Democratic nominee, that would have been something I would have been overjoyed with if that happened.
You see, I respect Rand Paul. I do. I don't agree with him on economic issues, of course. I think that's where you and I differ mostly.
Now, see, that's exactly how I feel about Bernie Sanders. I disagree with him a lot on economics, but I also think he's a really cool dude.
Yeah, socially.
Like if I saw Bernie Sanders somewhere, I would give him a big ol' hug, and then he'd probably be very confused. Then I would ask him about his folk album.
I've listened to his folk album.
I
I
have
like
too,
it.
but believe me.
It's really good.
Well, I wouldn't say good.
I like.
I would say specifically,
I had bias, but I liked it.
I I enjoy his music because it's so bad it's good. I have Bernie Sanders' folk album in the same category of my brain that I have Macho Man Randy Savage's rap album. They're both bad.
I
Neither
have
of them
Mach-
should exist, but I will listen to them 50 times in a row.
I have Macho Man Randy Savage's rap album in the same portion of my brain as I have Blink 182 or something like that.
I am very lost on what that even means.
Have you heard of Blink 182?
Yeah, I know who Blink 182 is. I just don't understand like what you mean by that.
Have you ever heard When You Fucked Grandpa? Their song?
No. Are you just putting them in the category of music that's funny?
Basically, I think that his album is hilarious.
Well, then you should have Bernie Sanders in there too, because him just talking while music plays in the background is utterly hilarious.
Hey, I like to sing along.
It's not singing when Bernie does it, it's talking.
Here's the simple truth. Okay, give me a bit of a beat. That in America...
I will not do that. I absolutely refuse. I have neighbors, I have integrity, and I have roommates that will kill me.
Here's the simple truth. Alright, Killer Mike.
How do you, back to the good old list, probably start wrapping this up soon.
Yeah.
This is an issue that comes up every once in a while, then people talk about it for a month, and then everybody collectively forgets about it, because really it's not that big of a deal, at least I don't think.
Harambe.
Absolutely not. I refuse to talk about that on this or any channel. I will not, I do not have any wish in any fiber of any atom of my being to speak about memes with you at this time. Let that be known. Absolutely. Okay. I have a very low tolerance for memes. When I was 13 or 12, I was, back when things like Trollface were just starting, I kind of followed memes. I needed my family to explain them to me a lot, but I at least kind of got them. That time has passed. I don't understand memes. So I will not discuss memes.
Okay.
Moving on. How do you feel, what's your take on voter ID? Basically, the whole conversation about whether or not you should have to have a photo ID or have more stuff, basically, to be able to vote.
I think it's a voter suppression tactic, honestly. They're using, a lot of people don't have IDs. If you asked me if I had an ID up till 2 weeks ago, I would have said no. A lot of people don't have driver's licenses either, or any form of photo ID. And, I mean, I know this because I've met tons of people that don't have a photo ID. I have a friend, he's 23, can't go in and buy alcohol or cigarettes because he doesn't have a photo ID. So I think that and a lot of them are African American. My friend, 23, Brandon, he can't buy it. He doesn't have a photo ID. He could never afford to go and get his photo ID done and get his license and everything, take driver's ed and such. So I think that it's just a form of voter suppression to stop minorities and other people from voting.
Now, here's why I don't, like, it definitely does have negative, it definitely, when in places it is implemented, it definitely does have negative consequences of less people voting. But here's my take on why I don't think it is intended, and I don't think it's intended to ever be voter suppression. Mm-hmm. Because the people who typically push this thing and try to scare people into agreeing with them, the people that usually push this thing are basically always conservatives.
Oh yeah.
No, the people that usually do not have voter IDs are people who wouldn't vote Republic. What am I even talking about? Ugh, lost my train of thought.
The people who usually push these are conservative.
People who usually push these things are conservative, and
I had my down low moment. Now it's time for yours.
yeah, now I'm the one looking stupid. Go me. Well, we both have half the screen, and we both have half the dumb going on,
Yeah.
so hopefully we can make it
That's
up with some smart nuggets here and there.
yeah. I mean, we have. You've made some really good points. I feel like I brought up some good points. We're very
But
smart people.
I don't feel like they're trying to suppress any voting. Well, not suppress voting. I don't think they're trying to suppress specifically minorities. I think that how that came about is, and I'm sure there are some people who maybe are, but for the most part, I don't think so. Because I think it's a common thing for Democrats to look at any Republican and immediately assume that everything is racially motivated. And I think when there were Republicans, and I think they were really paranoid because at the time voter fraud was a very minute issue. It's very uncommon to actually happen. Though in this recent election, that's making me think of it a bit differently, saying that voter fraud absolutely happened thanks to Clinton.
Yep. And
So that's been making me look at it a bit differently, though I don't know how much of photo ID can really stop a person like Clinton from rigging something.
yeah, you see that I made a whole video about this. Go me.
Yeah, go you. But I think it was conservatives that were paranoid of, well, what if a lot of voter fraud starts happening and this could prevent it? So they just offered the issue. And then when Democrats went there, they were like, okay, we don't want them to get anything passed because we don't want them to get credit for it. And they're Republicans, so of course there has to be an ulterior motive. They can't just be worried about America. They're trying to sneak something past us. So they looked into the statistics. They saw that most of the people who don't get IDs were usually of minority groups or impoverished people who typically vote Democrat. So they said, "Aha! See, you're just trying to support these people." And from there, the whole conversation has degenerated. When really, I don't think it's a big deal either way. I think it should be a state decision. I don't think it should be mandated on a government level. I'm happy, definitely happy that I didn't need a state ID to vote this time around, otherwise I wouldn't be able to vote. But if such a system was in place here and I wasn't able to vote because I couldn't get an ID, while I would be disappointed, I would still understand because I think it's an understandable paranoia. So I really think that either way you swing on this issue, I don't understand the frustration people have against either side.
I understand. I gotcha.
Yeah, though there
That was
is,
a good point,
yeah,
by the
I
way.
definitely think there is a huge issue with the mainstream Democratic Party on
Oh yeah.
calling out, trying to find everything, have a racially motivated edge to it. And I don't even think they actually believe that. I think, at least I know there are people that believe that, but I think the ones in the media who are parroting it, I think they're only doing that because they know it works. They know it's one of their most effective ways of mudslinging because they know that conservatives have social views that are very unpopular, and they know as long as they only keep it socially around, if they only talk about social issues, they know they'll win. And they know if they make the other look bad on that issue, it's even better. So they try to keep it down into that area and try to stop it from getting to any economic issues because they know they'll lose. Obviously, that changed a wee bit thanks to Bernie Sanders, but
Mm.
he's hardly your typical candidate either.
Oh yeah, he was basically a third party candidate to me.
Yeah, he's basically he's
Just
he's
he
literally
just
the same thing as Rand Paul was for the Republican Party in 2012.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, not Rand Paul, Rand Paul and Ron Paul, really, I can count them both, but Ron even more so, because Ron's uh, even more out there in terms of the spectrum, but Ron Paul
Yeah.
definitely is like a straight mirror to Bernie in terms of the impact they had on the
So,
party and how people viewed them. Though,
yeah, I'm.
though to Bernie's credit, he did get further than Ron Paul ever did, and even Ron Paul admitted that. So,
Yeah. Well, Bernie would have won had the
oh yeah,
election
definitely,
not
yeah,
been rigged. So,
yeah, you went over that really well in your
and
video,
then
so
he
we
would
won't
have beat.
we won't discuss
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
statistics and stats and things from WikiLeaks on how Bernie would have won, because you already
Yeah.
went into that in detail on your video, so anyone can go watch his video on that, of course.
Yeah. Guys, go watch it. I think he'll leave my channel link in the description, right?
Yes, I will. We're coming to
All
the
right.
end
Cool.
here, so this will be uploaded to both of our channels, because
I'll
we
do
both
my best to upload it. It's gonna take me forever.
yes, yes, it will. It'll take me a wee bit too, but we both could definitely use bigger subscription and view base, so we'll be to both and serve as a lovely advertisement for the two of us. I technically have two YouTube channels. My main channel is Deeble Entertainment, and Sanest Man Alive is usually the name I go by. But the channel is Deeble Entertainment. The YouTube is youtube.com/#badjokes. And on there I have political videos, live streams, I have Let's Plays I've done. I
That
have,
Tokyo Ghoul cover that was pretty decent.
yeah, I have some cringy vocal covers that I did knowing they would be
Come on,
terrible. I
it
keep
was
getting
good.
told I'm wrong, that they're not terrible, but I disagree.
I
Uh,
thought gays knew what good theater was. Oh,
I have, I have, oh, I know good theater. That doesn't mean I'm good at singing.
okay.
I have over 150 videos. There's tons of things. I have a vlog series called #badjokes. I have lots of things. And over on my other channel, Sanest Man Alive, that is mostly just politics. I originally created that channel to have just a channel for politics, and originally I was going to only upload politic videos onto Deeble for a little bit. Then it turns out that I got more views on Deeble Entertainment than I did Sanest Man Alive, so I'm not sure if I'm going to keep that channel around too long.
Some of that YouTube cash money.
uh, so subscribe to my channel at Deeble Entertainment, and you can plug your stuff now. You can chill.
Oh, me? Yeah. uh, my name is Nick. I'm the guy that hosts ComradeAlucard. I don't have a custom channel link yet, but that will be done soon. Don't worry. I just have to verify my account with a phone. My cell phone right now is currently out of minutes, so I can't. But sorry, off topic. My bad. I think I'll ask him to put the link in the description. It should be like right below you, right below JW here. Another thing. I have another channel, Ultimate Weeaboo. I make AMVs. Has like 30-something subscribers. I think my most viewed video is around 2,000-something views. AMVs get tons of views, especially if you use a really popular anime like High School DxD along with some Linkin Park song. Then boom, instant views.
You made me cringe way too many times in a sentence.
Yeah.
You mentioned High School D&D and Linkin Park in the same sentence, and I now want to throw myself off a cliff.
I know. I like both of them. I like Linkin Park and I like High School DxD though. So.
Though that is a little hypocritical of me to dislike High School D&D so much, because I like Free for the male fan service there. So.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy High School D&D because it's all fan service with it's basically all fan service, so that's why I don't enjoy it. But yet I enjoy Free. So.
There's definitely some plot. I read the light novels mostly, though. Very good light novels. There's a lot of fan service in it, but it's a bit more plot driven.
There gets to a point in fan service where it starts to bug me. Like there's a point when
I like it for that though. I like seeing big tits in my face all the time.
Well, that's why I like Free, so I can't actually complain too much. So that's why I like Free. If anything, my complaint it's not really. I think what it is that it's sour grapes, because there's, like, a drop in a bucket of anime that has hot guys in it with fan service, and then all the rest is women. I think that's really what I'm upset about here.
I like both. I like yaoi and I like fucking moe
Uh,
and shit. I like all of it.
I don't think there's nearly enough yaoi fan service in the world. I think that's the
Oh,
problem.
no, definitely not. I would like to see some yaoi fan. You've seen Orin High School Host Club, right?
Yes, I have a T-shirt of it.
That was really I really enjoyed that. But anyways, continue on with my closing statement. Subscribe if you want. I'm trying to get some viewership up. Just started my channel up 4 days ago on the 11th. 3 days, my bad. It's the 14th. Um, subscribe to this guy too. He's pretty cool. Yeah, subscribe. You can close it
Yeah, I
out.
hope you all enjoyed the video. We may do more of these in the future. I do not know, but either way, you'll be seeing more political content from the both of us, and probably us disagreeing a lot. So
Yeah.
please watch more of our videos, subscribe to us both, and I hope uh, you all don't walk into a bear trap and die.
Same.
That's the gist of it.
And also, don't do drugs.
Yeah.
Unless you want to end up like Kim K.
I'm just gonna leave it on that note. Toodles.